2, 3.
Final four!
Oh man.
Is the quintessential survival test. You will be making the one thing that only man has discovered and harnessed. The one thing that sets us apart from the rest of the animal kingdom. The red flower that changed our development as a species. This challenge is called Trial by Fire.
That makes fire.
We have provided each of you with a fire-making station, complete with several bundles of each stage of firewood that you will need. We have kindling, tinder, fuel. We very kindly have given you some wood shavings to use. So you're welcome. So you will be making the fire in each of these metal trays. Please contain it to that. We don't want to burn the field down. And your objective is to build a fire that is high enough to burn this string. And the winner will be the first person to drop their Jenga blocks. Yep.
Amazing challenge. Good construction work. You really outdone yourself in the last one.
Right, so we've given you all a ferro rod in order to do this, so you will be using sparks.
Oh. Man, this is a great challenge.
All right. That's cool.
Oh, so you gotta get close in there.
It's definitely nice, yeah.
You're getting close.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
You
just gotta keep it light.
Keep it hot. Keep it hot. Where are the cotton balls?
Ooh, there we go.
This challenge is unfortunately failed. Oh, there we go. You got it.
Got it.
We got it. We got it here. Yeah. Here. All right. Here we go. Playing for a spot in the final tribal council.
Survivors ready. Get set. Go.
Channel your bend.
I think that you need to make it like so you don't lose any sparks. You know, like what he's doing.
Like a little nest.
Yeah.
Like center it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're trying to center the heat.
Right.
Essentially.
Otherwise you'll lose sparks. Alright, have we given thanks?
Can you get Zach? I'll get Rose.
Smoke from Zach.
He's got like the power. Yeah, that's the yeah. Oh, if it stays hot.
Shirt and
Oh my god!
The wood shavings are used to catch the flame once you've got the pine needles burning like I had. That's the second step.
They gotta be bigger.
You good? Yeah, like I wonder.
Like big sparks. Try and get big sparks out.
Yeah. But there's a balance between how fast we can do it.
You're getting it. Let the heat build. Hold it.
I think you go as hard as you can, as fast as you can, steadily. It's more, I think it's more stamina than it is speed and pressure. You just have to be, you have to be on the doing it over.
I see embers in there.
It's, and
it's starting
to
black.
burn.
It's turning black.
Keep it up. Just be consistent.
Oh!
Don't drown it.
Build it.
Oh, nope.
Build it up.
Oh my god. Yes! Taller.
The string.
Set it up.
Got it, keep it going, keep it going. No, don't get
Cut the wire.
Cut the string.
Use it all.
I don't want to put it out with too much stuff.
It's in the Jenga block of ball.
Big five. Big five.
You're getting so close.
Keep going.
I know, yeah, you see you touching for just a second. I don't know what they're doing at this point. They might be changing it. They might be like, it's warm and it gets over and then
Swing. Body swing.
I don't think we have to worry about that, Jess.
Oh no.
Are these like hard? Oh, they're metal. Don't drown it.
No.
Oh, you still got a chance. You still got a chance. There's still life. It's still life.
Still there. The fire's still there.
You can have a little bit of flame still.
Yes. Dueling dragon.
Let it. It's gonna get life in just a moment, I think.
I just need that little kindling in the middle to burn.
Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
Sounds like they're not surviving.
No, I'm not.
Fire quicker.
No.
First start.
Yep.
The problem is having had the wood chips already mixed in. I don't know if that's
Yeah, I guess I wonder if the wood chips are dead.
Hey, okay.
It's early.
Oh my god. Now you get your favorite.
Oh shit.
Yeah, here's a little bit of time. You got it, Zach. You got it.
Sure, as you say that, yeah.
No, man. You got fire extinguishers.
I don't want it to burn the grass. So it was getting high enough. The wind was pulling it. So maybe if you move the plate, you can see the flame.
You can be the wind.
It is grass.
You're in this, Josh.
Josh, it's anyone's game. Not over till it's over. Keep going. It's burning up there. I don't even know that you mean. He is cooking. You got it. It's almost there.
Maybe back up a little bit.
Yeah, we don't want.
Trying to. You can start doing like a teepee thing just to get the fire higher. But I'm just trying to get the sticks to light first, because once they're burning, they'll be fine.
Don't kill it. Oh, you keep
going.
He hasn't cut it.
Maybe throw some more pine needles on it. No, they're not. They're right there. Yeah.
But now I had the perfect tinder. I still work. Maybe, yeah. Run out of fuel. Yeah, I'm trying to make it so I don't smother it. Don't worry about it on the grass. Okay. Sure, as you say that, yeah.
No, man.
Come on, bro.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's happening.
Oh, it's burning. It's burning.
It's happening.
Bigger.
Let it breathe.
Bigger fire.
It's dying. Bigger. Spit some kerosene on it.
Oh, it's smoking. Like, I can't even see my... I just need those bigger sticks to light. No. But I think this should be fine.
They have soaked these in lighter fluid.
Yeah. Super survivor. Use little things.
I didn't even give up all of these things extra.
Yeah, he's using the big things. Yeah, he's using the
When that flame is licking that.
Yeah, bigger sparks. I'm trying to build up, like... Yeah.
Zach wins immunity!
Once I saw your technique, I was like,
Cat got it? You got it, Cat?
oh, did you make that? Look at it go!
Yeah! Oh wait! Let's let me break it! Please!
That was incredible. That was fast.
Will. One vote Will. Rose. One vote Will. One vote Rose. 23rd person voted out. Survivor.
Thanks everybody. Yes. I never thought I would get this far. But, you know, I did a lot of things I was uncomfortable with. And I hope to never do that in real life again. Yeah, so our inner Slytherins.
Yeah.
Final tribal. Down there. Happening now. Head on down there.
Can we get drinks real quick?
Absolutely get a drink.
We have time to think about what we're going to say.
Congratulations, final three.
Take a moment. It's going to take me a minute to move the podium down, that down, the cart down.
Asking us questions like why we think we should win.
Yes. Yeah, you'll have an intro and then you'll be able to answer questions from people.
So Will, final juror, last person voted out. How do you feel?
I feel like it was deserved. I was being a little bit of a slithery snake for a while, and I knew that if I didn't win that immunity, there was a good chance I was going out. And I should have paid better attention in Eagle Scouts. That's what I learned. Starting a fire is really hard. Yeah, I thought I was going to be out way before this. The top 5 when I betrayed Josh, I kind of knew, and he didn't get out, I knew that my days were numbered. So yeah, it's now I kind of want to see if I can rally the votes for, I don't know who I want to win, but I feel like I'm not done playing the game. I still have to pick somebody to actually win it all. So yeah.
So
go ahead.
Walk me through how your kind of mindset evolved and strategy changed throughout like the game, like throughout the different swaps and through the merge. Did you find that like how you viewed the game or your strategy change at all?
Yeah, at first I was doing things very merit-based because I wanted my team to win. Once we got down to the individual, or even before we got down to the individual challenges, I started to identify people I thought were going to be in the top 3, really near like the second day, beginning of the second day. And I started voting them out, even though it wasn't the pattern that I'd vote for. And I started doing more backstabbing and blindsiding, and none of that felt good. But it became the only way to operate, I think. We started to pair off and discuss things in pairs rather than in groups, which I think really changed the game.
Yeah. So do you think that was like a general, like almost everyone had to become more like slithery snake and more backstabby because people started to realize we got to start actually doing strategy and figuring out who we want to go to the end with?
I think Zach was a really predictable, strong player. He won a lot of challenges. He was also very loyal to the people who were loyal to him. And it's why I think he gets my vote in the top 3. But yeah, like, Rose and Josh had been just like a pair the entire time. So honestly, I feel like Rose and Josh stuck to what they were going to do. They always voted the way they were going to say they were going to vote, and that I know of. And Zach, very similar. Zach was also manipulatable, which I tried to use. I worked once and then it never worked again.
What was your favorite part about the whole experience?
All the trials. I can't believe I got to just play every single trial. I definitely didn't expect to, but as more people got out, the more I felt like a celebrity performing in Survivor, and I think that was really fun.
All right, well, you played an awesome game, and let's go vote for a winner. Thanks for playing.
Let's do it.
Okay. No, I'm sure you're right.
Here are your finalists that outwit, outplayed, and outlast all of you. Josh, Zach, and Rose. They will now get a chance to make opening statements, and then after that, each of you will have a chance to ask them a question, address them, make comments, or pass. It's up to you, and then after that, we will go to voting. When you vote, you will be voting for who you think should win Survivor Expeditions. You will be writing the name of the person you want to win, as opposed to what you did in Tribal these past 2 days. So we'll begin with Rose. Opening statements. Feel free to be heard.
So, for those of you who don't know, I met Alan at the rock climbing gym through Meetup. Woo! And he randomly texted me one day and he's like, oh, would you want to do this Survivor challenge? Like, my friends do it every year. And I didn't even read anything. I was like, yes, sign me up. I'm totally all for this. And at first I was like, I'm just doing this for fun. And then we were at the gym and Alan's like, have you watched Survivor before? I was like, no, I've never watched it before. And he's like, you might want to watch it and get some strategy. So after that, I binge watched 3 seasons, counting during work as opposed to doing work. I was like, and I got really into it, and I was like, oh man, I really want to win this. And I kept going back and forth with my strategy of what to do, if I want to come out as the strongest, or making decisions, or how I was gonna do it. And so after watching seasons, I decided, okay, I'm gonna be the newcomer. I don't really know anyone, so I'm gonna go, below the radar, and I'm gonna just make friends with everyone. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. I really like to be around people, and then just see how it goes. And from there, I like decided, like right away, I heard Eric had played before, and so I was gunning for Eric like the whole time, like since the second round. I'm not sure if he knew or not, but I was like, this is Boston Rob, like Redemption Island. I was like, we cannot let him win. So I feel like I was a big mastermind behind getting Eric out eventually. As well too, I teamed up with Josh. He came over and said like, hey, do you want to make an alliance? Because we were on the team with Peter, Mike, who else is on our team? Jess and Will, and we're like, okay, we're like the two odd ones out, like we should work together. We're like, who do we want to get out? And Peter and Mike came up to us and they wanted to get out Will and Jess, and we kind of blindsided them and got Peter out. Sorry, Peter. So from then on, Josh and I were like in alliance, and I feel like we worked really well together in getting people out. Something I would say I took from like their Survivor seasons as well was with Redemption Island, how they voted out Matt, and then he won all the challenges and came back. And so when Jed came back, I was like, we gotta vote out Jed. Sorry, Jed. Because I was like, that's just like, you know, you gotta kick him when you're down. But and then besides that, you know, making friends, just doing the best I could, because I was like, I know I'm probably not going to win a lot of these challenges, but as long as I try my hardest and make friends with people, that's all that matters. That's all.
Hi, I'm Zach. So I actually am Nick's friend, and then I met Nathan through Nick years ago, one of the bonfires or like hangouts and stuff like that, one of the biking parties and things like that we've had before. And then I met a handful of the other guys about last summer when we all went to the Outer Banks together. I was invited to tag along, and they kept talking about some Survivor event that was really fun that Nathan and everybody was hosting and stuff like that. And so they asked if I wanted to join into it next year, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll give it a try. Then all of a sudden the emails and stuff started coming out, and I was like, oh shoot, this is actually coming up here. I guess, yeah, all right, I'll do it. I'm gonna see how this is gonna go. You know, read the instructions like the night before I came, so just to make sure I had that going. So I didn't really have anything to expect. It was my first time coming in for this. So the biggest thing that I just had is I had a goal of at least trying to make it through the first day. And then when I was voted out, which was like a weird thing that came out of nowhere, I decided after that once I got my redemption, I had the determination to win it all. Now, I think we all had really great teams, especially at the very beginning. All the tribe, everybody I was with, I was trying to, you know, build friendships, build that stuff early, because you're going to definitely need it in the end game. Yeah, when I got voted out, we all switched tribes after a little bit. After a while, I was stuck with a handful of people that I've already were with, and then Allie joined us. So we're like, oh, sorry, Allie, you're out of here. And then we went into the tribal council, and she got a random immunity out of nowhere, and I was just like, crap. Because I knew exactly what was about to happen after that, because I know Allie was talking about getting me out. Luckily, I was able to win the challenge to come back in 2-3 challenges later, and I was able to stick through it. And then I guess the biggest play for me would be when we, when we actually started doing more of the, when I came back in and we got rearranged to the new group, and then I knew that I needed to start a different alliance with these two and the Black Tribe, because my tribe had voted me out once before. Why wouldn't they do it again? So that's when I started building friendships with them, and I started building those alliances. I'm sorry, a handful of people that I might have stabbed in the back. Maybe you saw it coming, maybe you didn't, but I'm trying to play the game. Everybody understands that, so obviously no hard feelings, and I'm actually just really excited that I was able to get back all the way to the final 3. I will say that I was kind of killing it there at the very end. I won like 3 or 4 immunity challenges at a row, and I thought that was going to put a big target on my back, because if I keep winning immunity, then somebody's going to try to get me out if I obviously wasn't going to win it the next time. But luckily they didn't do that. We kind of kept it going. So I think I played Survivor really well. I think I played it pretty coordinated and very schemingly, but enough to the point where people might not hate me, but I was able to actually get to the final 3, because obviously I am. So hopefully you guys vote for me.
So I came into this game knowing Eric, Melissa, and Stacy. We actually had a group together where we would watch Survivor and we would talk about it. It was a ton of fun. But the one thing I wanted to make sure of while playing this game is that either I would always be with the majority with the numbers, or that I would know what was going on. And I did not want I never wanted to not be in the know of what was happening, and if something were going to happen weird, I wanted to figure that out. So there were multiple turning points in the game where I was part of a blind side, where I had the opportunity to go either way, and there was never a vote the entire time where I was not in the majority vote. The one time I was in a losing vote was when Eric played his immunity idol. Other than that, I was in the majority. The original black team, as Rose said, and Rose and I worked very well together. We worked most of the game after the first tribe swap. You know, Peter and Mike came up to us to possibly vote out Jess, because, you know, Jess is part of a power couple, very risky to get to the end of the game, and you both did play amazing. And I developed a really good relationship with Jess. So my plan was I wanted to go as far with Jess and with Rose as possible before unfortunately having to break you guys apart. And the point of that was I knew that there, you know, like Rose, I knew that there were several groups of people in this game that came in and really knew each other and seemed to have deep friendships. And my goal the whole time was to break those up. I knew that Yama, Peter, and Bockman on our original tribe seemed pretty close. So when they were split up and I had the opportunity to vote out Peter, I did, and Mike as well. Then when the big merge happened, I think that was a big shock, because the Orange tribe at the time, we had 4 people. The other side had 6. They believed they had the votes. There were 2 redemptions that came in. Jed came back in, which was amazing after having, 2 redemptions. So we had Jed and we had Yama. And Yama we had just previously voted out. You know, we had some issues with the night challenge and everything else. But knowing that we were down 6-4, I wanted to be sure that, you know, as soon as I found that the other side wanted to target you, I wanted to be sure that you knew that we had your back and that we could pull you into our numbers. And then Zach as well. I came up to Zach during that redemption challenge. I learned that Zach had been blindsided unanimously after Alec came back into the game. I got Yama and Zach to join our alliance. We managed to flip the script. After we were down 6-4, we were up 6-4. Then later on in the game, you know, I was in alliance with Patrick for a while.
Oh man!
But
that was
what ended up happening is I ended up again. The target was on Jess and Will again. I found out walking up into a group. You know, originally the idea was to vote out Eric. I found out that Patrick in the group was saying, "Oh, isn't our alliance so great?" In a group with me, Eric, and Katie. Me never knowing that I was in alliance with Eric and Katie because I hadn't talked to him the whole game. And then I found out that Eric had a lose a vote. So I figured, you know what? Eric thinks we're all voting for him. Nobody has any idea we're voting with Patrick. And since Patrick's going back and forth, I think it makes sense that we should switch the vote to Patrick. So we got, you know, then Patrick got out. And then we managed to, you know, the 3 of us then worked strong to get Eric out. Amazing, getting 2 immunity idols.
Like 6 people, we had that established. Like, we're finishing together.
Yeah, and then we were solid to the end. And, you know, basically, I guess my argument is, you know, I was always on the right side of the vote. I always knew it was going to happen, with one exception. And I would love to have all of your votes. I'm sorry for blindsiding any of you. That's the
game.
All right.
All right. Starting over here with Yama and going this way. You can stand up or sit and address one or all.
So for everybody, what was the hardest challenge and how did you overcome it?
For me, I'd say like most of the puzzle challenges were tough, but mainly the recent Japanese one we did. And I was trying to come up with ways to figure out like how to, you know, decode this. But I got to a point where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get this. So I kind of just accepted that I was gonna lose that immunity challenge.
Yeah, so based off the puzzles, definitely the same challenge she was talking about, because as soon as it started going and then we were running to the tables and it was not making any sense at all, and I was like, oh crap. So I was trying to figure that out. I think, but actually the physical challenges, the stretcher one, like running up that driveway, oh my gosh, I was burning, it hurt. It took me like an hour and a half for my heart rate to slow down, like I was dying. So that one was pretty challenging, but obviously mental one, it was not even close. That was gonna be the other one.
Yeah, and I'd have to go with the fire making. I mean, that was extremely tough. You know, I know in Survivor they do that in the Final Four. I was never expecting we'd actually get to do it. Never built one in my life. You did an amazing job, Zach.
Once I got the technique, I could figure it out.
I'm just happy I didn't give up and was able to eventually get a spark and build a small fire at the end of it.
Okay, what was just give one example of when something went maybe a little unexpected and you had to pivot during your game?
I would say it was definitely for us like the blind side with Patrick, because that was for me. I was like, Patrick's like my boy, because I was like a fellow rock climber. We've been bonding over that. And then when they came to me like, we gotta switch it, like he's wavering his alliance. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. So actually in the first vote, I ended up picking Eric because I just didn't have like the heart to pick Patrick, and I wanted to kind of cause a problem, which actually ended up causing it to go into like we had to vote again because it was split. So I don't know if anyone knew I did that, but I did.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is when we kind of had the thing to vote out Eric, and then he played the hidden immunity out of nowhere, and I was like, oh no, this is not. And I think that's when we had to pivot to the Patrick thing, right? Is that when that was, or?
I think it was a different one.
Was that a different one? Who did we vote out after that? Was that the Lizz one? No.
Yama, maybe.
Oh, it was the Yama one. Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah. So we kind of had a plan going to voting out Eric. And then obviously he played the hidden immunity out of nowhere like perfectly, and then obviously Yama got out just with 2 votes, because that's essentially how it was. And that was one of those pivot moments of just like, wow, we have to really change up our game plan now because that just came out of nowhere. So.
Yeah, so I have to go with what Rose said. I'd say the Patrick vote was definitely the hardest vote of the game for me. I never really expected to do it. You know, I wanted to go as far in the game with you as I could. But as soon as I heard in that group with Eric and Catie that there was some sort of alliance going on, and I worked with Jess from the very beginning of the game. We were the only 2 members of the Black Tribe at the merge, you know, prior to the redemptions. So we had worked that far. I wanted to do what I could to save her, at least temporarily. And yeah, I'll own up to it. I voted out Patrick right away. I didn't change my vote.
This is for all of you. So what is one strategic move you initially orchestrated that, in your opinion, changed the game moving forward?
I would say the biggest thing is when we were, after the morning when we were watching the Redemption Challenge, and then they came up to me to talk to me, and I decided to flip to their side. Because I knew, because of getting voted out from my tribe previously, I knew that I couldn't keep that allegiance fully, and I knew if I switched to another tribe. Now, the biggest thing at that point, though, is I knew that once I switched to that tribe, and then all the other tribes started getting voted out, like, well, now my allegiance is starting to crumble, and I got to figure something out. So that's when I had to try to build the allegiance with these 2 to actually keep going, because I knew it's like, all right, when we get to the final couple people, if it's me with most of the Black Tribe left, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get through this. But I was able to build the alliance with these 2 to actually keep myself into it. So
I would say for me, what really changed it, like, I was originally just gonna stick with like my Dagama tribe and like go with like the OGs. And then when Josh came up to me during one of the challenges, I was like, let's partner up. And I was like, you know what? Yes, let's do it. And then we decided we were gonna go the whole way to the end, because we realized we were like, again, on the outside, everyone like knew other people, or they had like couples in our tribe, or like they're good friends. And we're like, okay, we need, like, if I want to make it through, I'm gonna have to like do a duo with someone, which I wasn't planning to do. I was planning to like just do my own thing.
Yeah, I would say for me it was definitely the merge vote. When we were having, I think it was dinner yesterday, I think Catherine was sitting in a giant group of people, talking about their very large alliance. I'm thinking to myself, wait a second. There's only 2 of us left on the Black Tribe. What exactly is this giant alliance right now? There's more people on Orange, the current Orange before the merge, and then most of the people from the original Orange at the beginning of the game. So, you know, I knew we didn't have the numbers. I talked to Zach, I initiated the conversation. I went to Yama right after we had voted him out and got him to trust us. And we did have your back for those few subsequent votes after. And if it were not for, and I'd also won immunity right at the merge with the memory challenge. I'm not sure if my name was out there, but who knows? But I did everything I could at the merge to make sure that I would have a solid group of people going through to the end. And I stuck with that.
Hi.
Oh, God.
If you had to vote for someone other than yourself to win up there, who would you pick and why?
I feel like I'm doing like the PC answer, but I would say like just physicality wise and everything, like Zach won a bunch of the immunity challenges, as well as he did the fire making challenge, and that was awesome. So for that reason, I would pick Zach. But if you go with the more social alliances and being strategic in that sense, I would go with Josh.
Hold on, you gotta pick one.
I gotta pick one. I would say since Josh and I work together a lot of the times, like we played a pretty similar game, and I'd probably go with Zach for that reason, since he's different from the both of us.
Question: was your name like written down once?
Yeah.
It was. Okay, I was wondering.
It was
I was like, oh, okay, that's what I was. I was like, I don't remember seeing. Okay. Oh yeah, at the very end. Was that the only time? When you at the very end, the last tribal council, was that the only time your name was written down? The entire time?
Yeah.
What?
Well, to be fair, Will wrote down Zach, but you were ineligible, and then he wrote down Will, but he's not allowed to vote for himself. So.
And then I wrote Rose finally.
I was wondering what you wrote because I could see on it. It was crossed out. 2 names are crossed out. Yeah, so when it comes to actually playing Survivor, at least this times that I've watched Survivor, like growing up with my mother and stuff like that, we would watch it. I think the biggest times you would see people that would get to the very end because they were being social enough and I guess building the alliances and actually like playing the game of Survivor. So it's hard to say because Rose, like I said, just realizing that like she didn't have, nobody voted her for the entire time. So she was playing completely under the radar the entire time. So with that, obviously that's a huge element because it's essentially you weren't on anybody's like hit list the entire game, which you were essentially surviving. That's a big one. But then for Josh, obviously he played the game extremely well. He built up the alliances when he needed to. He needed to, you know, portray the people when he needed to, just enough to keep himself in the game and off the vote and everything like that. So I say based off of that level of trying to I guess play the game of Survivor where you're building the alliances, destroying them, building new one, and trying to stay under the radar with that too. So I'm gonna actually say on that element with Survivor, I would say it would be Josh. You could say her, make it easy.
And I guess we're gonna make this really easy, being really PC. I'm gonna go with Rose. You know, as Rose said, we played a very similar game, but there was a major difference between me and Rose in that she only had 1 vote the whole time. She was never anybody's target. I think I got maybe 5 votes throughout the game. I knew when 4 of them were going to happen, but no, Rose, I feel like everybody that Rose talked to was able to trust her. I don't think there was any person in this game.
Except for Eric.
Well, maybe Eric. Eric. But I feel like most people that worked with Rose felt that she was on their side, and that's why she was able to get through the game, you know, with with 1 vote, and then also coming in here, you know, barely knowing anybody. Like that's a really difficult thing to get to the end of the game. You have to strategize and find groups to get yourself there when you barely know anybody. So I'd say Rose.
Hey guys!
Hi.
I think we played a pretty damn good game together. We got really far.
So kudos to you. No hard feelings, by the way. But so just a question for Josh and Rose. Just a little curious because you did save me and voted for Patrick. It was a very last minute decision, and then you came up, you're like, wait, we can save you if we just get out Patrick. He doesn't suspect it. Great. And then you turned on me in the next tribal, which, by the way, you should have done earlier. But I think you should have got me out earlier. But thanks for, having my back. I thought we worked really well together. Why was it then that you decided to split us up by getting me out?
So we thought you could help us, like the both of you get out Eric. Because we would have y'all's votes, both you and Will's. So we wanted to keep you guys together as long as possible throughout the game. And then when it was time, we actually had this plan the whole time. Probably when we first started talking that, like, okay, we're going to get Peter and Mike out first, and then Will and Jess. But in the meantime, we're going to be like in alliance with them and stay friends with them because we can use their votes.
Ouch. Okay. Very smart, though.
Sorry, guys.
Very smart, that's
Your 2
great.
cents.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a question for you two.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the ordering was not an accident. When I had initially, we were trying to get out Eric for a while, and I'm friends with Eric outside the game. I'm sure we'll remain good friends, but I think we were on opposite sides a lot. We were never really on the same tribe until after the merge. So
By the way, for Yama, I was like, we were going after you after like the second game.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, he just kept coming back.
Yeah. Being able to target every single vote.
So we needed as many votes as possible, and I'll admit on the Patrick vote, before we decide on Patrick, I was going back and forth. I was thinking, I've been told by other people, like, oh, the other tribes are saying Jess is controlling the game. Jess is playing it, and you did do a phenomenal job in the game. It was good to have you around. You were a very good tribe mate. But when I found out that Patrick was playing 2 different alliances, I knew that in order to prevent Eric from having an additional vote with Catie that could vote me off on the next tribal after getting out Jess, I knew that we had to get out Patrick first. And I knew that Will and Jess as a couple were always going to be a challenge. We had to get them out soon, but I was willing to wait 1 more vote to deprive Eric of that 1 extra vote.
Guys, looking
kudos.
2 to 3 steps ahead.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's your question.
I don't have any questions, but just, I guess, comments. Rose, felt like we had a great time together, being original Dagama members.
Dagama!
I felt like I could trust you the whole time, and glad to see that you didn't vote for me originally, but I also respect that you voted for me afterwards on the tie. Understand that. Zach, super strong competitor, winning the redemption and making it to the final round. I feel like that deserves a lot, that you're still here.
I didn't blow my chance.
And you really pulled your weight, like, in the challenges at the end.
Yeah.
And then Josh, I could see in your face that it was a really difficult decision for you to vote for me. I could tell just from your face that it was a hard decision all around. But now that you've explained your strat, like, respect. Yeah.
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 Here.
Alrighty. I want to understand, there was 1 vote I didn't get. And I get that you had an alliance, and it makes sense why you made the vote you did. Why Catie, when you voted Catie out? For each...
Right, yeah.
No, for each of your strategies, why did that help you? Because you could have chose who you wanted to sit with. Why was Catie the target there? Because... I don't know. That's what I want to know. I didn't get that vote from everyone's perspective but Zach's.
Well, I was going to give my perspective again.
I would like to hear it as well.
Okay, so essentially what we decided, especially going into I think when there was 6 of us left, we'd established the 3 of us that we are making it to the final. So we are going to do our best to win those immunities and knock people out and things like that. And to be honest, the reason we voted for Catie is because we couldn't vote for Will. Because he won the immunity. So we established that we were going to have the last 3. So Catie, you were the next one on the list, and It started, yeah, the funny thing is I was actually worried about our alliance for a second because like, we have this alliance and I think it's strong, but it might not be because that's what Survivor is, but luckily that's what we stuck with.
And that's,
so.
I think, the point of my question is I think I would have wanted to vote you out there, personally. And so I want to hear their perspective as well.
Yeah, so
I
that's
tried.
what I thought,
I tried.
Yeah,
and
I
they
knew it because I was winning. Oh, good.
No, but keep going if you didn't have
No, I was gonna say because I knew when I started winning those, especially when I bought that like back-to-back immunity challenge, and I was like, oh crap, like that just put a huge target on my back.
Yeah.
And so I was worried about it, but I was luckily they stuck with it. So
that's where
yeah.
I didn't understand.
I know you did. I know you did.
I want to hear from both of you why.
I knew you were gonna. I knew it. I knew it was coming. So.
Yeah, so I'd say so part of it was Zach was on the original Dagama tribe with me, and we did that one challenge where we couldn't talk with, and we were both at this.
The Scissor Bros.
Yeah, we were both at the Scissor Station, and I feel like I really bonded with him then. So, but part of the reason that I voted out Catie was I had actually tried to change her vote to vote for you at one point, and she would not waver. And so I was like, okay, this is a bad sign. Like she is like pretty emotionally invested in this. And I'm not, if I can't change her mind, then I don't know if I want her going further with me.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was just kind of, it was really my only choice. I knew that Catie was going after me. I knew that the two of my two other finalists here both had my back. I really didn't have another option. Otherwise, we would have ended up, I knew that there were votes on me, so I had no other choice in that particular vote.
Yes, okay. Don't have much stake in the game since I left pretty early, but I guess out of all of the competitors, if you had to pick an ideal top 3, could include yourself, doesn't have to, who would you choose?
It's hard.
Top 3, not including us.
So
not including any of us?
It could be you if you want to put
Oh, well. Well, obviously, I would just say, I guess kind of like the easiest answers are the people that kind of were the last with us. I would say Eric was a huge competitor because I know we were gunning for him in the very beginning, like after the first 2 challenges, and he stuck through it. He played that immunity idol like perfectly too, because it was pretty incredible. So obviously, if some things were a little bit differently, you would probably up here with us. Obviously, yeah, say Will, you would be up here with us too, because it's so funny because when we were talking about it, you said you were like, I'm so surprised that I actually made it this far, but you were playing the game like really, really well and stuff like that. So, and then I guess also kind of, I know Jeb kind of got like the hard thing about it too, because you were voted out like, 3 times, but came back in twice. So if there was any other underdog that I would have rooted for, it definitely would have been you. But it just came down to it. The votes were coming in, and it couldn't really do anything about it. So that would be my 3.
So for me, it would definitely be, if I didn't vote him out, Eric, for sure. I thought he knew how to play the game really well. He knew what he was doing. He used his immunity idol at the exact right time. I'm telling you, he's like Boston Rob 2.0, Redemption Island, if anyone's seen that season. Then I would have picked Yama, actually. He's incredibly strong.
If you were to do any one thing differently throughout the whole game, what would it be and why?
All right, first of all, congratulations to you 3. No, I really mean that. You played the most strategic game, you played the most subtle game, and I feel weirdly flattered that I was viewed as a threat. But at the end of the day, you're sitting there and I'm sitting here, and so are over a dozen people. And that said, whose name did you write down the most?
Eric. What? Didn't do it, and I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
Wait, so that's your answer?
That's my answer.
That was all of our answers.
Yes.
Definitely Eric.
Eric.
We're trying to get him out like more challenges in a row. So I think Eric.
Can we all just give a hand for Eric for being?
Yeah, I think the hard part was like one of those things where like, all right, we're gonna get out Eric, and then somebody didn't vote properly, so we couldn't get him out. Like, all right, next time, and then he would win immunity, and we're like, crap. All right, then next time, oh, then he plays the idol, and we're like, damn it. Like, and then it got to the point where he actually stopped trying to get you out for a couple rounds because it's like he's getting too suspicious. Even though you probably knew we were doing it the entire time, but you were trying to get a little bit closer down into it, so yeah.
That did not get out the first time I voted for him.
Wow.
I think I pretty much consistently vote for Eric since like the second round.
Yeah, we did. We voted you for after the second challenge. At least I did.
Sorry, Kevin.
Do this. Sitting here while I'm talking to Kevin about it, and then all of a sudden somebody turns over and they're like, well, Kevin's played before. We're like looking at Kevin like, oh, has he now? So we were gunning for Eric at that point, but then somebody revealed that you've played too, so we're like, uh-oh, that's another one, so. Yeah.
I might have put
All
right, congratulations.
It's kind of been already asked before, but if you had to pick one person who's been voted off to win, I know you said top 3, but if you had to pick one person who's already been voted off to win, who would you pick?
That doesn't have to be me.
Yes, nice. I would say Eric. Yeah. Yeah, I would say Eric because Eric was the target for what?
That makes no sense.
Yeah, Eric was trying to get voted out like multiple times in a row, and he kept sticking along and stuff like that. So I would say Eric should have been like this like that. Yeah, he had 2 immunity idols too. He played 2 immunity idols.
Perfect.
It was crazy. Yeah, very perfect times too. It was wild.
And why?
That's kind of just gave mine. It's enough.
I feel like I hate to repeat the same thing, but I was gonna say Eric because like he's very similar to Boston Rob because he just like steamrolled like a lot of people coming in, and he just really knew how to control the game, and not to mention find 2 immunity idols when no one could find like any. Well, Zach eventually ended up finding one, but I thought that was like incredibly impressive. And he just knew how to really talk to people and really convince people to be on his side after I feel like a lot of people had convinced people to vote for him, and then he somehow was able to switch the vote, so.
So I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna say Eric would not have been my last because he did give me a little too much information with the lose a vote and the idol, which I used to my advantage. I would say Jess. We were the only 2 from the original Black Tribe. I mean, as I said before, strategic mastermind. When she made it to the end, I think she earned the respect of everybody here in winning this game.
Favorite event and why? Yeah, short and simple. Love it.
The Plinko thing that we did that was over there, that was fun. I thought that was like we crushed it, by the way. Like we were doing that so well. Once we got our groove, the maze thing, that thing was pretty good. I had a lot of fun with that because once we got our groove going, we were like unstoppable. Like you can't beat us. So, yeah, we dropped. I think we only fell through the hole maybe like 5 times, 6 times, if that. Yeah, it was wild. So I would say that was probably my favorite.
So for like tribe challenge, group challenge, I would say definitely the one with where you're crawling and digging for the key and breaking the ice and transporting the water. That was very cool, very clever. I had wanted to do a challenge like that because it was very like reminiscent of the obstacle courses they do on the show. And then for the individual challenge, definitely the water bucket one because I'd seen so many of those endurance challenges, and I'd actually been practicing like planks because I could see that like happening. And I feel like it's really hard to go up against yourself to like really push yourself like past what you think you can do. So I was excited to see like in a like competition style what I would do, and I never thought in a million years I'd be able to hold my arm up for over 30 minutes.
That was huge.
I know I'd say it was the hardest challenge, but also the most fun challenge, fire making. because I mean I didn't think I'd be able to light a fire, and like I didn't get to the top like Zach, but I made one, and I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that. I've never tried, but like you know I'll choose one other one. Like I really loved playing dodgeball too, just a classic. I've never played three-way dodgeball. That was a ton of fun. That was an absolute blast. So much more strategy involved in like where you're supposed to stand so you're not blindsided from the other corner. That was a lot of fun.
That was my least favorite challenge, is the dodgeball, because I got voted out just before it, and I wanted to play. It was dumb. Yeah.
I have literally no control over that one, Eric.
I know that was wild. Yeah. I could have been very beneficial on your team, by the way.
You really would have been.
Yeah.
I should have whispered Eric's name in everybody's ear right before.
Playing the game.
Yeah, I don't have a question. I just want to say, like, congratulations. There was so much going on that I just had no idea about, and I'm just so impressed. Like now, hearing everything like that, I'm just really impressed. You guys you did a great job. So, and I'm happy to have been a part of it. Wow, congratulations.
Why do you feel that you should win?
Make your ego like crazy high, I guess. Obviously, I believe that I think I should win. Like I said, I was playing pretty, I guess, tame in the very beginning, and then I got voted out of nowhere, and it kind of threw me through a loop. But once I won that redemption challenge by 1 point, beating out Kevin, it was crazy. Yeah. At that point, I knew I was like, I'm winning this. I'm gonna build the alliance. Because I knew at that point, when we have like bigger groups and stuff like that, it's easier to build alliances. But I knew we needed to start building alliances quicker. And so that's when I started building it with these two, because I just felt that my original tribe was probably going to vote me out again. So I had to build something from them, and then I could sway a lot of the votes when it comes into the next couple of things, because maybe some of them believed that I was going to be on their side of the orange team, but I was actually on black the entire time, even though like sometimes I'm going to officially be with them. So that was big. And then obviously I was performing really well in a lot of the challenges and things like that. Obviously, like I said, I won a bunch of them at the very end, trying to keep myself alive, keep myself in the game, because I knew I really needed to get those challenges, because I knew I would start becoming a threat at that point if I wasn't able to win the challenges. But even with me not winning like a handful of them, I was able to still build the alliance with these two. And once I knew that we had that alliance, I knew that I was going to be sitting in this chair.
So I think I should win because I came in here not like knowing many people, and I was able to forge like a bunch of relationships. And I thought for sure, like having like a not very common name of Rose, I'm like, I'm gonna get voted out first because people can't remember names, and they're just gonna be like, okay, we remember Rose, like we're gonna vote Rose out. And I was able to make it the whole way through, not having been voted for once. I didn't hear of anyone ever talking about wanting to vote me out either, like, because sometimes you hear, oh, Rose, your name's like going around, they want to vote you out. That never happened once. And then Will, he later, revealed that I was like his actual third vote, not even his first vote. So I almost made it through the game with like no votes, and I feel like that's very impressive.
So I feel I was very much a consensus builder. I was on the right side of every vote, except that idol. I feel like I was the initiator for the blindsides that we did do. I was the initiator in those, but I didn't ever go about it in a way that I wanted to be viewed as the leader. In a way, I lived in Jess's shadow for a time, and Rose and I worked very closely together. But I tried to frame it as a consensus building. We're all thinking about it as a group. But really, I feel like most of those times I was the one that planted that seed. Thinking 2 steps ahead in order to get into this chair. And I was able to build up trust with the people I built up trust with, and they gave the trust back to me, and I was able to work with the people that had trust in me and able to make the moves I had to make to get to the end of this game.
How bad do you want to take a shower? Also, if you had to guess, which player cast the most votes against you?
11 out of 10 on the shower. Like, I'm gonna do it instantly when I get home. To be honest, I will say though, the only hard thing for me was when in the very beginning when we had that blind side with Allie when I got voted out. That's the most thing that people voted for me. But I think actually going into the rest of a lot of the challenges, my name wasn't really written down much at all. I think it was only one time that came out of nowhere, and I don't know where that came from. I don't know, what was that? There was that one, I think.
There was an original vote that your name came up really early.
Yeah, really early, and I was like, who are we talking about? I don't know. Yeah, but so writing my name down the most, you're asking like who you think that wrote my name down the most?
Voted for you the most times. Yeah. Who wanted you out of the game?
I don't know. Actually, I don't really know. I would like to know. Who wanted me out of the game? You did, okay. I was like, it was one of those things, I didn't know where they were coming from. Like, there was one, I remember there was that one random Zach vote out of nowhere that was like, I don't know, halfway through this day, and I was like, nobody knew where it came from. So, I think we still don't know where it came from. Jed, was it you?
What?
I was wondering, I don't know. It just like, because everybody had a consensus of voting back and forth, and then my name was like randomly in there, and I was like, I don't know where that came from, but, so yeah, it's hard to say.
Yes. That was me. And you know what? If I didn't do it, it would have been a split vote, and that would have been boring, honestly.
That's true, because we were actually at a split vote, and we didn't know where it was going to go. But then that one random vote for me made it so it wasn't a split vote. So it was, good job, good play right there. Yeah.
Well, we know that the only person who ever voted for me was Will. But I would say that if he had the opportunity, Eric would probably vote for me a lot. I feel like he had an idea I was gunning against him because he didn't strategize with me too much. We kind of like.
Talk to me.
So, I know Will did, but I'd guess Eric if he had the opportunity.
I think I had 5 total votes against me. Could be wrong. I think 3 of those were from Catie.
Probably.
Yeah. So Catie.
Yeah, at the end. I voted for you.
Yeah, 1 from Will. Did you, Dom? I'm not sure. Did you do 1 vote against me? Okay, I'm not sure. Anyway.
You didn't answer the shower question.
Oh, and the shower question.
Oh, I didn't answer that.
Yeah, shower question.
So being a part of that night hike that kind of went nowhere.
Oh, through the woods and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I really wanted to take one. I was pretty tired, but yeah, I'd love to take one right now.
I know, I haven't showered in 2 days. It feels gross.
That's the reward.
Yeah.
Shower.
It's gonna be like a film.
My hair is definitely crazy, and I can smell myself. But I'm actually like okay with like not showering much. It's not one of my favorite activities, so like I feel like I do well out in the woods.
So we've already heard what you each would have done differently. What do you think the other finalists should have done differently?
I think Josh should have voted me out because I mean we had like a pack going the whole way to the end, but I feel like if he was being really strategic about it and it would make it like an easier vote for the final jury, he would have voted me out because I feel like we did a lot of stuff together. Yeah, I guess he initiated some stuff, but he initiated a lot, but I also initiated stuff as well. So I feel like that's going to make it really hard and it's going to split the vote. And then Zach, I guess I would say maybe he should have like tried to orchestrate a little more. Like I feel like he was very good at like winning the immunity challenges and like he was just having a good time and kind of went with what other people said. So I feel like maybe he should have like threw out some more ideas.
You don't want to scheme too much because you do that and then you give it away.
I know.
That's a hard question. Do you have something to say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The 2 of them both knew I was playing a very strategic game. They should have both voted me out when they had the chance.
I thought about it. But I
I thought about it.
I thought about voting you out like a little bit into it, but at the same time, I was like, that could really backfire on me if I did that because, I had you as an ally pretty early. But if I voted you out, then I lose an ally, and I'm like, what am I going to do now? But also, I knew that you were going to be a big threat too. So, yeah, I would say kind of, I guess, for both of you, like kind of what you said is like, I figured y'all were, as soon as I started winning those immunity challenges and stuff, I thought y'all were going to come for me next. Because you knew that I was going to be like, if I kept winning them, then I'm going to keep staying in the game and things like that. And I know sometimes you probably, I don't know if you had the feeling that you thought that I might not have been fully with both of you at the same exact time when we were doing all our planning and things like that. Because I was talking with Eric a lot about the game, about what was going on, and I'm sure y'all were probably like worried about what was going on at that point, but I want to say I'm sorry to say that if one thing of our plan didn't go well, I easily would have flipped back to Eric's team, like without it in a heartbeat. So that could have really went bad, but obviously, yeah, voting me out probably would have been very smart when you could have got it done in the very beginning if you had to. So.
Eddie.
Okay, so some comments before my question. First of all, Rose, I didn't get to know you too well, and let me just say you are Wonder Woman for not just holding your arm up for over half an hour, but outlasting the two right next to you as well. So bravo for that. Zach, you beat me in bocce ball by 1 point. Personally, I do think you deserve it because you are, you're coming back into it and you came back strong. You didn't waste the opportunity, and we had one hell of a game, so props.
Thank you.
Josh, you were the first person I met coming into this game. We literally were at that parking lot in elementary school, and we just walked the whole way. We talked, and we were like, hey, you never know, one of us could be the top 3. Look where you are now. Look where you are now. And honestly, you played the game really well. You laid low, most of the time. You were one of the bets. I can't speak. You are my number 1 pick, basically, for winning this whole game early on before this point. So, yeah, props to where you got. Now, the question I have for all 3 of you is, what is something that you guys have done that no one else knows about?
Ooh. They know now, but I found the immunity out of nowhere, and they didn't know where it came from. But I did find that at the very last second or whatever.
Where was it?
The one over there. You know, I will say that I kind of cheated a little bit because I saw Bobby looking around over there, so I kind of guessed where it was gonna be. Yeah. Well, I knew they said something about being. I know I got the thing from Catie where you had something about being near a brick or something like that. And at one point we were out in the field talking, and I look over and I saw Bobby was looking around the stairs, and so I'm like, oh, it has to be over there somewhere then. And so after that one last thing, I decided to. After the last thing where I won the last immunity for the one thing, I had to go and grab it because I was kind of worried that Eric was going to find it, so I kind of wanted to take that away from you. Yeah, you already found the first 2, so I'm like, I'm not letting you find the 3rd one. What was your question again? I don't know if I answered it.
What is something that you've done that no one else knows about? It could be strategy, it could be something you've done, it doesn't matter. But I think you pretty much answered that question.
I guess, yeah. Well, I guess people did know about the immunity because I found it pretty early on, and I was letting people know about it.
No secrets, all is let out now?
I guess the biggest secrets would be certain people they didn't know I had certain alliances and stuff like that. Because Eric, I don't know how well you knew that I had an alliance with other people in the very beginning. Yeah. So I guess the more secrets that I wouldn't have known is the alliances that I had that people thought they didn't know my allegiance where it was going to go and things like that. And I think that would be some of the biggest ones. I gotta have to maybe think about something more specifically.
That's fine.
I revealed this in an earlier question, but no one knew that when we were trying to flip the vote on Patrick that I ended up voting for Eric, causing it to go to vote again because it was a tie, and I did that to kind of ruffle some feathers, but no one had any idea until the jury.
Nice.
That explains.
I don't think anybody in my original tribe knew, other than the people that I formed an alliance with, which initially were Allie, Jess, and Emily. I don't think anybody realized that we were out, from the very beginning thinking about gunning against Yama, Peter, and Bockman, trying to break up that group, other than, those 3 people.
All right. This brings us to the vote. These 3 are gonna sit here while all of you get to vote. So I'm gonna go up there, and we're gonna start with Yama and go this way. Bobby's gonna help call you up and get you up there. That works. When you get up there, you will be able to write the name down who you think you want to win, and then you can say a few words about why you think that person should win, about your choice. Feel free to talk to the camera, or don't. Fold it up, put it in the jar. I'll tally the votes, and then I'll eventually read them. So, and you'll film that. I'm saying that to you.
good.
Do you want to say anything about why you voted for Rose, or?
I voted for Rose because she spoke well of me at the end, while the other ones didn't, and she never backstabbed me or like double crossed me.
Okay.
Okay.
Allie?
One of my secrets. Eddie, sorry. My secret is nobody knew, but after the actual like the stretcher challenge, I literally almost passed out. Like I was close to falling over.
Zach, because nobody could get him out. He's too good for this immunity challenge. As a past comp piece myself, mad respect.
Kevin.
They could have voted you out, or they should have voted you out. They couldn't vote you out. You made it to the end. Your game was very different from theirs.
Will.
If it couldn't be me, then it might as well be Josh.
Jess.
Okay, so for me, this wasn't really a question. I think Josh and I had a huge alliance at the beginning, and we really did make an impact carrying it through. I did take the leadership role. I mean, he used me basically to get to the end, so props to him. I knew that Will and I were going to be split up if we made it that far. I would have done the same thing by getting rid of me. When he did, that was also great, but I knew that Will and I would not make it. But I think Josh and I really did tag team a lot of the blind sides, and it was so smart of him to, use me as much as he could, because I did take that leadership role, so I had the target on my back. But he played an awesome game. I think he deserves it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, please. 2 minutes. Okay.
So coming in, I wanted to vote Rose to win based on our alliance we had the whole time. I feel like Zach is the true survivor. Like he was redeemed, fought back, made it all the way through. But to be honest, Josh persuaded me with his words, and I think he deserves the title of survivor. So I am voting for Josh.
Eric.
Hello. It's a really tough decision. I think all 3 finalists did a really awesome job, and I think they did it in really different ways. I think that the person who played the best game is going to be the player who connected with the most people, and I don't know if that's quite what one of the candidates did. I think Zach might have played the better game. I think he played it incredible. I thought he did a good job. I think Josh was able to connect with more people, and I think his social game is going to be what's proving him the victor. Congrats to all the finalists. You guys were awesome.
Liz!
I mean, I agree.
Do I just start talking?
Or you can write first, up to you. Write first, talk later. You want to say anything?
Do I do that now?
Yeah, feel free.
I vote Rose because she put in the preparation. She talked about starting her show because of this, and also doing planks, which is impressive. Planks suck.
Dominic!
Alright, do I write it on the card?
Yep. If you want to say anything, you can. If not, that's okay.
Do I say it after I write it? Or?
It's up to you. Before or after?
Okay, well I gotta figure out who I want first.
Still undecided. Impressive.
It's basically it's awesome. I'll go this way. Because I don't want Josh to win.
That's a good reason.
Who do you vote for?
Rose.
Jed, will you please report the vote?
Want to say anything to the camera about why? Feel free.
I don't know, I'm pretty impressed.
Peter, please come to the voting booth. Peter.
Okay.
Michael.
And okay.
Michael.
This is who wants to win, right? Yeah. I'm not voting this person out.
I'm voting all of them out.
So they kept mentioning you guys. If you want to say anything to the camera about why?
Rose and Josh, you guys are evil. How do you spell Zach's name? Is it with a CK?
Oh, well, take a guess.
I'm gonna go CH.
Catie?
I know more CH Zachs.
Catie, can you come vote?
Evil.
So write it down, look at the...
Write it down. Feel free to say anything to the camera if you'd like.
Played a great game. I did not see that coming.
Emily?
If you'd like to say anything about to the camera.
Oh, I can say something?
Feel free.
I'm going with Zach. I think he played a super strong game. He won a lot of the challenges, and he is a great survivor.
She started talking after you.
I approached you fast.
Did Allie go already? Yeah. It's
Stacy and Eddie?
Stacy, Eddie, and Nikki.
Nikki, Kat.
Well, Kat's
Zach had so few connections coming into this. It was really just a good connection with me and a more tenuous one with like Mike and Peter from Outer Banks. And he made like strong allies who both made it to the top 3, you know. He played the social game really well. Did well in the challenges too, won several immunities, you know. Also, I'm biased as hell, so Zach.
Stacy.
We spoke briefly before this weekend, and you said final 3, and I'm so glad that you made it. I severely underestimated you, and I'm so glad and proud of you.
Eddie.
I don't know. I've seen the votes. Can you go see if I'm going to vote or not?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you guys saw the name back or whatever.
Yeah,
I know. I know.
Anything you want to say?
This was a fun time. I'm coming back next year. Hopefully there's a next year.
Waiting on Nikki. Waiting on. I'll read the votes.
First vote, Zach. 1 vote, Zach.
That's it.
That's all you get. Josh. 1 vote, Zach. 1 vote, Josh. Zach. 2 votes, Zach. 1 vote, Josh. Josh. 2 votes, Zach. 2 votes, Josh. Josh. 3 votes, Josh. 2 votes, Zach. Zach. 3 votes, Zach. 3 votes, Josh. Josh. 4 votes, Josh. 3 votes, Zach. Zach. 4 votes, Zach. 4 votes, Josh.
Rose.
Yeah, you got a vote.
4 votes Zach, 4 votes Josh, 1 vote Rose. Rose. 4 votes Zach, 4 votes Josh, 2 votes Rose. Rose. 4 votes Josh, 4 votes Zach, 3 votes Rose.
It should be like an even split, like all 3 ways. Like, what the?
Josh. 5 votes Josh, 4 votes Zach, 3 votes Rose. Zach. 5 votes Zach, 5 votes Josh, 3 votes Rose. Rose.
Exclamation mark.
5 votes Josh, 5 votes Zach, 4 votes Rose. Josh. 6 votes Josh, 5 votes Zach, 4 votes Rose. Zach. 6 votes Zach, 6 votes Josh, 4 votes Rose. Zach. 7 votes Zach. What is this now? 6 votes Josh, 4 votes Rose. 1 vote left.
Oh no.
Could be a tie.
Oh my god, you're gonna be kidding me.
Yeah, right. Winner of Survivor Expedition.
I already talked about it. It's just like another speech. It's like it's incredible though. Like that's it. I say thanks, guys. I'm really glad that you thought that I won. I know I thought I played really hard. I know I got voted out pretty early, but I'm glad I was able to come back in. And I thought that I played really well. I was playing strategically because I know in the very end, you want to build up your alliances. You want to be scheming, but you don't want to be too schemy because then people are going to get onto that and then vote you back. Obviously, start going after you because they think that you're playing too many tricks on people. So I try to be in the middle. Obviously, Josh was coordinating most of it, but I was like definitely in the middle of it. And then obviously the biggest thing I knew for myself is I needed to win a handful of the immunity challenges at the very end, which I was able to do so. I was going off on there for a little bit, and I was able to bail fire first. So that's like a big Survivor moment right there. So I'm glad I was able to play with everybody. I'm glad it was a great time playing with everybody. I'm glad I got to know a lot of new people and stuff like that. And I really hope for any kind of a future events and stuff like this, I can actually be with everybody again and we'll have some more fun. All right.
Yeah, thank you all for coming out. This was fun. Who wants food? Yeah.
Challenge for reward.
With the stars in the sky, our guide, voyage ever onwards, set a course to the other side of the endless ocean's blue. Treasure Island on the ledge